Friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. If suppose if you are working in a company, if you are paying some tax to the government, you can reduce the tax in many ways. So please watch those videos in the channel so that you can save the money. At the same time, you can contribute to the government in a good way. So thanks for watching. Please watch all the. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. So now we are going to see what is tax, why we need to pay tax, and what are the ways to reduce the tax. So before going to that, so I need to tell us a scenario. Many of my friends ask me, said me that they are paying much tax to the government from their salary. So they ask me whether is there any way to reduce those tax. I told about many schemes like ETC, ETCC. So by using those schemes, they have reduced their tax from some person to some person. So that person is savings to them. So we will talk more about the tax saving schemes in the upcoming videos. For now, just we will consider what is the tax, so and why we need to pay tax. So and then one thing I need to convey is, till 2016, I too have paid much tax to the government. Then I have researched what is a tax and what are the ways to reduce the tax. That's why I'm trying to share the things that I have researched. So this next set of videos might be helpful for those who have joined in a company and they're paying much tax to the government. So first we'll see what is a tax. Tax is an amount paid to the government. Either it can be form of income or it can be form of the product that we buy from the sellers. So here the income, this is income. So tax is directly divided into two types: direct tax and indirect tax. So whatever that we are paying to the government via salary is a direct tax. So salary, income from own property. So if you are owning an own house, and if you are getting rent for that house and also are getting some lease amount for that house, so you need to pay some part of that amount to the government as a tax. So that too falls under direct tax. And then profit of business. Suppose if you are running some business, so if you get some profit, then also need to pay some part of that profit to the government as a tax. And then is a capital case. If you are doing stock market, and if you are invest in mutual funds, and if you are selling those in a year, so if you get any profit, you need to pay some amount of profit to the government. These all things fall under direct tax. And then comes the indirect tax. If you buy any product, for example, if you are buying soap, so if suppose the cost of the product is 30 rupees, the soap cost is 30 rupees. That 30 rupees includes all this tax: VAT, service tax, excise duty, and education cess, etc. Currently, what the government did is, they got all those things under a single category called GST, government and service tax. So we'll talk more about that in the upcoming videos. For now, just consider tax is some contribution from our side to the government for the development of a country. So we need to pay tax, but there are some ways to reduce the tax that we are trying to pay to the government. So in the upcoming videos, we will see how to reduce those tax. So at the end of the video, you will see channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing channel. Thanks once again. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. So now we are going to see how income tax slabs are divided and how income tax slabs are categorized. First, we will see about the individual category. So income tax slabs are categorized into many forms, like many categories like individual, super citizen, senior citizen, super senior citizen, and etc. So since we are falling into individual category, we will talk more about individual category in this video. So if you need more information about the senior citizen category, super senior citizen category, please comment it. I will try to upload that video also. So for now, we will see how tax slabs are divided for the individual category. So income up to 2,50,000, 0 to 2,50,000, no tax. This is a first slab, and second slab 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, 5% of your salary, and 5 lakh to 10 lakh, 20% of your salary. More than 10 lakh, 30% of your salary. So if your X person is earning 10 lakh per annum, most of you might calculate the tax percentage, tax amount wrongly, because 10 lakh falls in 5 lakh to 10 lakh category. So 20% of 10 lakh is 2 lakh rupees. But that's not the actual case. I think many of my friends told that I am falling this category or this category, so I am paying this much amount of tax. That's not the reason. That's not the actual interpretation. So most of you might have interpreted it wrongly. So I will try to clear that in a simple example. So that consider X person salary is 10 lakh per annum. So it's similar to bucket problem. If you have 4 buckets and we need to fill those buckets, what we'll do is first we will try to fill the first bucket. Whenever it gets overflow, we will try to fill in the another bucket and then another bucket. Similarly, how this 10 lakhs is split is, first we will try to fill in this slab. If suppose the slab overflows means we will try to fill in this slab and then comes to this slab and then comes to this slab. So first we will consider 10 lakh rupees. So what we will try to do is we will try to fill that in this slab. So up to 2,50,000 we can fill that. So once the 2,50,001 rupees comes, it gets overflow. So what we need to do, we need to choose a second bucket. This is the second slab, 2,50,000 to 5 lakh rupees. So here the remaining amount is 7,50,000. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to put 2,50,000 here also. So 2,50,000, 2,50,000, and then the remaining amount is 5 lakhs. So 5 lakh fits in the third bucket. So the actual 10 lakh rupees got split into 3 slabs: 2,50,000 here, 2,50,000 here, and 5 lakh here. So for the first slab, 0% means the tax that you need to pay is 0. And for the second slab, the tax percent is 5%. So 5% of 2,50,000 is 12,500 rupees. And for the third slab, the tax percentage is 20% of your amount. So 20% of 5 lakh is 1 lakh. So when we had these 3 things, the resultant amount would be 1,12,500 rupees. This is the actual tax that we need to pay to the government. That's not, so if you have interpreted wrongly, what you would have do is, so 10 lakh, 20% means 2 lakhs. But actually the tax that you need to pay is 1,12,500. This is the correct interpretation how we are paying the tax to the government. This is for the individual. If you need the video for super citizen or senior super, please comment it. I will try to put those videos also. So in the next videos, we'll try to see how we can reduce this 1,12,500 to some amount by using investment schemes. That would be very helpful for the persons who are started to work in the current years. So we will talk more about the investment schemes in the upcoming videos. So we will try to reduce this 1,12,500 to some amount. So that amount would be depends on the scheme that we choose. So thanks for watching. At the end of this video, you would see a channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing channel. Thanks once again. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. So now we are going to see what are the various investment schemes that are available to reduce the income tax in a brief manner. In the next upcoming videos, we will see in detailed manner. So in the previous video, I have told that for a 10 lakh per annum earning person is to pay nearly 1,12,500 rupees as an income tax. So I told that I will discuss about the investment schemes in the upcoming videos. So this is one of those videos. So if you're trying to reduce income tax, and what you need to do is, the first step is you need to fill the form 12PB of income tax. This was generated by the Central Board of the Direct Tax. So this form is used to submit to investments. So these are the following things by which you can reduce the income tax. We'll talk more about these things in detail manner in the upcoming videos. We'll see we'll talk more briefly about these things in this video. So LTA. The LTA means leave travel allowance. If you are going for a holiday trip, if suppose the total expenses, the traveling expenses is 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees, means you can reduce that amount, that 1 lakh or 2 lakh amount. You can reduce the tax by showing that 1 lakh, 2 lakh amount using some receipts. So here the conditions are applied. We will talk more about this in the upcoming videos. And then comes the HRA, home rent allowance. If you are residing at a rented house, if suppose you are paying some rent to the house owner on monthly or yearly basis, means you can show that amount to the income tax, and you can reduce the income tax by showing that amount. So we will talk more about this in the upcoming videos. And then comes the interest payable and home loan. If suppose if you bought a house using home loan, if suppose you are paying monthly in EMI on monthly basis, you can show that interest amount to the income tax department to reduce the income tax. And then comes the 80CC, 80D, 80DD, 80G, 80GGA, 80GCC, 80TTA, 80EU, and etc. These are the various investment schemes by which we can reduce the income tax. We will talk more about this in the upcoming videos in a detailed manner, and we'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages about each scheme that is present here. And I would recommend few things. So it depends on your individual perception whether to take that scheme or not. So at the end of this video, here you would see the channel icon. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. So now we are going to see how to calculate HRA, house rent allowance, and what are the benefits for using house rent allowance, and now we can reduce the tax by using house rent allowance. So first we will see the set of criteria for house rent allowance. So house rent allowance is determined by using these 4 criteria. So first one is actual HRA receipt. So basically, if suppose if you're working under some company, the company would divide your salary into 4 categories or multiple categories, like basic salary, HRA, educational allowance, and etc, etc, etc. So first one is actual HRA received from your company. So this is the first and foremost criteria, and then comes the actual rent paid reduce 10% of your basic salary. So we will talk about this using some example. So and then comes 50% of basic salary. Suppose if you are working in a metro city, otherwise 40% of your basic salary. Suppose if you are working in non-metro city. Metro city example is Chennai, non-metro city example Tiruchi, like that. So we will consider an example. So if suppose a X person lives in Chennai and earns basic salary of 30,000 and HRA component of 15,000 per month, and he actually pays rent of 10,000 per month. So we will calculate the first criteria value. So actual HRA received. So actual HRA received equal to 15,000 HRA component into 12 months. So totally 1,80,000. And then second point, actual rent paid reduced by 10% of salary. Actual rent paid rupees 10,000 into 12 months, 1,20,000. 10% of salary minus 10% of basic salary. So 10% of 30,000 into 12, 3,60,000. 10% means 36,000. So 1,20,000 minus 36,000, 84,000. This is the second criteria value. And then comes the third criteria, either this or this. So since X lives in Chennai, so 50% of basic salary comes into play. So 50% of basic salary, 50% into basic salary, 30,000 into 12, 3,60,000. So 50% of 3,60,000 is 1,80,000. So the main role comes here. The main role of HRA comes here. Here it will choose the least of the 4 categories. So here the first category value is 1,80,000 and second category value is 84,000 and the third category is 1,80,000. So HRA allowance will be the least among these 3. So the least among these 3 is 84,000. So you can reduce tax, you can show the deductions, you can reclaim the amount of tax that you paid for 80,000 by showing the HRA. So you can claim up to 84,000 for this scenario. So this is a way that you can use HRA house rent allowance for reducing the tax from your income tax. So at the end of this video, here you would see channel icon. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. In the next set of video, we will see how to invest in various schemes. So like LIC or mutual funds. So that will help you to reduce tax in a greater manner. So thanks for watching. Friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see about salary structure. So every month you would receive some salary from your company. At the same time, you would also receive salary slip from your finance team. So I have researched more about this salary structure. So I would like to share those things in this video. So basically, salary gets divided into 4 these categories: basic salary, house rent allowance, conveyance allowance, medical allowance, leave travel allowance, and other allowance. Like that, there are a number of allowance. I just listed out the 6 things. So first comes the basic salary. So basically 30 to 50% of total salary falls in the basic salary category. So in our example, in the previous videos, I have taken that a person who earns 10 lakhs per annum. So we will consider the same example. So 30 to 50%. So I have taken 40% of the total salary, 4 lakh. And then comes the house and allowance. Suppose if you are residing at a rental house, so you need to pay some rent every month. So you could use those details to reduce the tax. So basically 40 to 50% of basic salary falls under house rent allowance. So I have taken 50% of basic salary. So 50% of 4 lakh is 2 lakh rupees. And then comes the conveyance allowance. Suppose if you are residing in a city and every day you need to commute from your residing house to your office. So the transportation cost will be handled by the company. So maximum of 1,600 rupees per month is non-taxable. So 1,600 into 12, 19,200 rupees. So and then comes the medical allowance. Suppose if your parents, like grandparents, or yourself have some medical problems, and if suppose you are paying for those medicines, you can show those bills to reduce this tax. So maximum of 15,000 per year. So I have included that in the salary structure. And then comes the leave travel allowance. Suppose if you are going for a trip, so you can show those bills to reduce this tax. So there are some conditions in that. So maximum 2 journeys in block of 4 years. We will talk more about this in the upcoming videos. And comes the other allowance. So anything that is not falling in this category falls under other allowance category. So we have divided into these categories. We have divided 10 lakh rupees into these categories. So 4 lakh, 2 lakh, 19,200, 15,000, 3 lakh 65,800. When we add those things, it will come to 10 lakh rupees. So in the upcoming videos, we will see how we can use conveyance allowance, medical allowance to reduce the tax, and we'll also see the investment schemes so that we can reduce the tax, and at the same time we can also contribute to the contribute to the country. So at the end of this video, you would see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see how we can use the conveyance allowance for reducing the income tax. So first of all, what's the conveyance allowance? So suppose if you are working in a company and you are commuting from one place, from your residing home to your office. So the transportation, the amount that you pay for transportation is not taxable. Maximum of 19,200 per year. So the person who earns 10 lakh per annum needs to pay nearly 1,15,875 rupees as a tax. So if you use the conveyance allowance, the total taxable amount reduces from 10 lakh to 9,80,800 rupees. So if we split this 9,80,800 into 3 different slabs, what we get is from 0 to 2,50,000 rupees slab, 2,50,000, and then the remaining amount 2,50,000 falls in this second slab, and the total remaining amount falls in the third slab. So when we add these things, you will get the actual taxable amount. 2,50,000 plus 2,50,000 plus 4,80,800 equals to 9,80,800 rupees. So for the first slab, tax percentage 0, so 0 tax. Second slab, 5%, 5% of 2,50,000, 12,500. For the third slab, 20%, 20% of 4,80,800, 96,160 rupees. If we add these three, we would get the actual taxable amount, actual tax that we need to pay 1,08,660 rupees, and then we need to pay 3% of total tax as educational tax. So 3% of 1,08,660 equals to 3,260 rupees. So total, when we add this 1,08,660 with 3,260, we will get 1,11,920 rupees. So this using conveyance allowance. If suppose we would see the difference between the taxes that we need to pay with and without the conveyance allowance. If we are paying tax without any allowance, means the total tax for 10 lakh rupees is 1,15,875. If you are using conveyance allowance, means the tax gets reduced to 1,11,920. The difference between these is 3,955 rupees. That's the amount that we are saving using conveyance allowance. So thanks for watching. The next upcoming videos, we would see how we can use these savings schemes so that we can reduce the tax. At the same time, we can also contribute to the country. So at the end of this video, you would see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using HRA. In the previous video, we have seen how we can reduce income tax using conveyance allowance. If you haven't seen that video, please go and watch that video and come to this video, because this is a continuation of the previous video. So here, using a conveyance allowance, we have reduced the total taxable amount from 10 lakh rupees to 9,80,800 rupees. So please go and watch that video and come to this video. So there are some conditions that needs to be calculated for calculating the HRA. So there are three conditions. So we need to pick the minimum amount from these conditions that's the amount that we need to pay the tax. So first condition is 50% of basic salary. So for 10 lakh rupees per annum employee, the basic salary would be 4 lakh. So 50% of 4 lakh is 2 lakh rupees. HRA received from company. So for 10 lakh rupees per annum employee, he would receive nearly 2 lakh rupees as HRA. So HRA received from company is 2 lakh rupees. So excess of rent paid over 10% of salary. So this can be calculated using this formula. 10% of basic salary equal to 10% of 4 lakh rupees. So 40,000 rupees. So total rent. Excess of rent means total rent minus 10% of basic salary. Total rent equal to 1,20,000 rupees. So 1,20,000 minus 40,000 equals to 80,000 rupees. So if you want to calculate the HRA that is not taxable, then we need to pick the minimum of these three values: 2 lakh, 2 lakh and 80,000. The minimum of among these three is 80,000 rupees. So you need not to pay tax maximum of 80,000 rupees using HRA. So we will use this salary structure as a salary splitter to see the actual tax that we need to pay. Taxable amount equal to 9,80,800 rupees after conveyance allowance is deducted, minus this amount 80,000 rupees. So total taxable amount reduces from 9,80,800 rupees to 9,800 rupees. So if we split this 9,800 rupees into these three slabs, we would get 2,50,000, 2,50,000 in second slab, 4,800 in the tax. For the first slab, the tax percentage is 0%, so 0. 5% of 2,50,000 rupees is 12,500. And third slab, 20% of 4,800 rupees is 80,160 rupees. So if we add these three values, we would get actual taxable amount 9,800 rupees. And if we add these three values, you would get actual tax that we need to pay. Plus, we need to pay 3% of total tax. That 3% of total tax is educational tax. So 3% of 92,660 is 2,780 rupees. When we add these two values, we get 95440. This is the actual tax that we need to pay if we belongs to 10 lakh per annum employee. And then if we haven't utilized any allowance, then we need to pay nearly 1,15,875 rupees per annum as a tax. So since we have used the conveyance allowance and HRA, the total tax gets reduced from 1,15,875 to 95,440. The difference between these two values is 20,435 rupees. So by watching this video, you would have saved nearly 20,000 rupees. If you have belonged to 10 lakh category per annum employee. If suppose you belong to 5 lakh or 6 lakh or 2 lakh, then you would have saved some relative amount. So thanks for watching this video. In the upcoming videos, we would see how we can calculate savings, how we can invest in the savings schemes, and how we can contribute to our country. Simultaneously, how we can reduce the income tax. So thanks for watching. So here you would see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see how we can reduce tax using medical allowance. So in the previous videos, we have seen how to reduce tax using conveyance allowance and HRA. If you haven't watched those videos, please go and watch those videos and then come to this video, because this video is a continuation of those videos. So after conveyance allowance and HRA, the total taxable amount reduces from 10 lakh to 9,800 rupees. So if we use medical allowance completely, then we can reduce maximum of 15,000 rupees per year. So there are some conditions. So you need to submit the medical bills to your company so that you can use these 15,000 rupees per year as an non-taxable amount. So 9,800,000 rupees minus 15,000, the total taxable amount from reduces from 9,800,000 to 8,85,800 rupees. So if we split this 8,85,800 rupees in our slab, so first slab it will fit 2,50,000, in the second slab 2,50,000, third slab 3,85,800 rupees. If we add these three values, we would get the actual taxable amount 8,85,800 rupees. So for the first slab, the tax percentage is 0%, so 0 amount. So second slab 5%, 5% of 2,50,000, 12,500 rupees, and for the third slab, the 20% slab, 20% of 3,85,800 rupees. So 20% of 3,85,800 rupees is 77,160 rupees. If we add these three values, we would get the total tax, so 89,660 rupees. After that, we need to pay 3% of this total tax as educational tax. So 89,660, 3% means 2,690. So when we add these two data, we would get 92,350 rupees. So for 10 lakh employee, for a person who is earning 10 lakh per annum, if he doesn't use those allowance, then you need to pay nearly 1,15,875 rupees as a tax per year. If suppose if he uses the conveyance allowance, HRA and medical allowance, then the total tax reduces from 1,15,875 to 92,350 rupees. So that he can save maximum of 23,525 rupees. If suppose if you belong to 5 lakh per annum category, or 4 lakh per annum category, or 3 lakh per annum category, this amount would vary. So what I would like to conclude is, please use those allowances in a correct way so that you can reduce the income tax. At the same time, you can also contribute to the government. In the upcoming videos, we will see how to reduce the income tax in further ways. At the same time, how we can contribute to the government using some savings schemes like National Pension Scheme, LIC policy, mutual funds, and fixed deposit. And we will see the advantages and disadvantages of each scheme and how we are contributing to the country by those schemes. So thanks for watching. At the end of this video, you would see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Till previous video, we would have seen how to reduce income tax using various allowances. Now we would see how to reduce income tax using various sections available. So I will briefly describe about these sections. In the upcoming videos, we would see in detail about each scheme that is present in each section. So ATC, ATCC, ATCC D1, ATCC D1B, ATTTA1, ATCG, ATE, ATD. So each section has its own advantages and disadvantages, and each section has its own maximum amount that can be shown to reduce its tax. So here ATCC, this is the most popular section, ATC, ATCC, ATCC D1. Under this section, you could show maximum of 1,50,000 for making that amount as a non-taxable. If suppose if you are earning nearly 10 lakhs per annum, so if you use this section correctly, then you can make the 10 lakh taxable amount. We can reduce the 10 lakh taxable amount to 8,50,000 taxable amount. So that's the power of this section. Under this section, there are n number of schemes like PPF, Public Provident Fund, Employee Provident Fund, and LIC Premium, and then NPS, and then ELSS, Equity Linked Savings Schemes, etc. We will talk more about this, and we will also see the advantages and disadvantages of each scheme in the upcoming videos. For now, just consider under ATC, ATCC, ATCC D1, you can show maximum 1,50,000. And then ATCC D1. So here the maximum limit is 50,000. So we will talk more about this MPS in upcoming videos. And then ATTTA1. You can show maximum amount of 10,000. This is interest income savings plan. We will talk more about this in upcoming videos. And under ATCG, most of the employees who are working in under some company won't get this the usage of this section because the employees are giving the HRA. So we will talk more about in the upcoming videos. ADE. So if suppose you are paying interest to the home that you have bought, you can save maximum of 50,000. We'll talk more about this in the upcoming videos. And the AETD, you can show there are some relative value. Suppose if you are putting the medical insurance for yourself or for your spouse or for your children, you can show maximum of 25,000. If suppose if you are using medical insurance for parents whose age is above 60 years, means you can show a maximum of 30,000. We will talk more about this in the upcoming videos. We will target this section. This is the most important section, so that we can reduce maximum of 1,50,000. So I will also talk about the advantages and disadvantages of each scheme present in this section. So thanks for watching. At the end of this video, you would see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Thanks once again. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to compare the popular ETC investment. In the upcoming videos, we would see these investment schemes in a detailed manner. For now, we will see the brief things about each investment scheme. So first and foremost is ELSS fund, equity linked savings scheme. So here the risk profile is very high. So if suppose the risk profile is very high, so similarly the appreciation value is also very high. It can be 12 to 15%, at some time it can be 20%, at some time it can be in negative also. So guaranteed returns, not at all possible. It's no. Lock-in period just 3 years. And then comes the PPF, Public Provident Fund. Here the risk profile is very, there's no risk involved in PPF. Interest rate is 8.1%. Guaranteed rate is yes. Lock-in period 15 years. NPS, National Pension Scheme. So risk profile is medium, and the interest rate is 8 to 10%, and the guaranteed returns no. Lock-in period still return. We will see in detail about these investment schemes in upcoming videos. So for now, just I will tell you in the brief manner. FD, fixed deposit, it's very risk free, and 7 to 9% expected return rate, interest rate. Guaranteed returns yes. Lock-in period 5 years. And then Suganya Samriddhi scheme. This is very useful for the parents who have girl child. So it's a completely risk free, 8.6% interest, and guaranteed returns yes. Lock-in period 21 years. After 21 years, suppose if you are trying to use that amount for your child, then it would be very useful. So next comes EPF, Employee Provident Fund. If suppose you are working in a company, then you would defaultly contribute some amount from your basic salary to the EPF. It's completely risk free. You would expect nearly 8 to 10% as interest. And guaranteed returns sales, lock-in period depends. It completely depends. So we'll talk more about these investment schemes in the upcoming videos. I would also tell the advantages and disadvantages of each investment scheme, and I will also share the best investment schemes for the short term, long term, and medium term. So for now, the maximum tax exemption under this ATC investment is 1,50,000. If suppose if you are trying to invest 10,000 a year, 20,000 a year, 30,000 a year, the total aggregate value can be any number, but the tax exemption allowed is 1,50,000. If suppose the aggregate value is 2 lakh, means up to 1,50,000 the tax exemption is there. For the remaining 50,000 you need to pay tax. Thanks for watching this video. At the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see how we can reduce tax using Employees Provident Fund. So actually this is an implicit benefit scheme. So each month you would have received some salary from your company. Whenever you receive, you would also get the salary slip or pay slip from your finance slip. If you look that finance pay slip in a very close manner, you would have noticed that 12% of basic salary is automatically deducted from your basic salary, and it is contributed or deposited in the EPF account. And another 12% is deducted from your basic, and another 12% of basic salary is contributed by employer. This is not actually listed in the gross salary. We will talk more about this in this video. So first of all, we will see what is the Employees Provident Fund. So Employees Provident Fund is a one type of retirement benefit scheme. So at the end of your career, if you need some amount, so you can use the CPF amount for that. If you are working in a company and the company goes in a wrong direction or in the backward direction, and you are asked to go out of the company, then you need some amount at that time. Then you can use this CPF balance for that purpose. And next case, next scenario. If suppose if you are working in the company for 20 or 30 years and you are trying to get retired from that company or from your career, then you can use this EPF for some purpose. And another scenario, if suppose if you are working in a company and you are trying to jump to other company, so if suppose if you take nearly 2 to 3 months miss, then you can use this amount for that at that time. So these are the various scenarios where we can use this EPF amount. And then this is maintained by Employee Provident Fund Organization of India. It can be EPFOI. So nearly 24% of basic salary is contributed every month towards EPF. So it is divided into 2 parts. 12% of basic salary is contributed by employee and another 12% of basic salary is contributed by employee. This 12% of basic salary comes under 80C savings schemes. Under 80C savings schemes, you can save maximum of 1,50,000 rupees. You can show this amount to you can reduce this amount from the taxable amount. So if suppose if you are an employee, you are earning nearly 10 lakhs per annum per annum. If suppose if you use complete usage of 80C, then you can reduce the taxable amount from 10 lakh to 8 lakh 50,000. So this EPF also plays a major role in that. And another 12% contributed by employer. So actually this 12% doesn't come under your gross salary. If you look at your pay slip, so if you analyze your pay slip, only this 12% employee contribution will be listed in that pay slip. This 12% wouldn't be listed in your gross salary. If suppose if you are working in a company, if suppose you are doing very well, and if a company decides to give 20 or 30% employer contribution towards EPF, then the remaining percentage from 12 to that amount, suppose a company is paying 20% of basic salary towards EPF, means that remaining 8% is taxable, that comes under gross salary. So till 12% that doesn't come under gross salary. So this is the tax savings information. This 12% is divided into 2 types, 2 parts. 3.6%, 3.67% goes to EPF, Employees Provident Fund, and 8.33% goes to EPS, Employees Pension Scheme. So interest. So when we talk about the interest, it is compound interest decided by the government. So this interest may vary every year based on the constraints. So this will be calculated annually. So opening balance for every year is calculated using this formula. This would be some complex formula. There are many applications for viewing the opening balance for every year. Opening balance plus total monthly contribution plus interest on opening balance plus contribution. This might look very complex formula. So you would have many applications for viewing this thing. And there is an app, official app, to see the total contribution made by the employee and employer and the total amount that is present in that account. So you can use that app for viewing the details. So withdrawal. So there are many constraints for withdrawing the EPF. So minimum years required for withdrawing the EPF without any tax means 5 years. There are some other constraints also apply. So if you need to view all those constraints, please comment those constraints in the comment box. So I would also take those things into consideration. I will take the video for that. So thanks for watching. At the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. So now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using public provident fund, and we will also see what are the advantages and disadvantages of public provident fund. And then we would also see how we can, what are the tax benefits that are available under public provident fund. So first, what is public provident fund? So public provident fund was initiated by Ministry of Finance in 1968. So most of you have some doubt. So what would be the interest rate for public provident fund? So the interest rate for the public provident fund is 7.8% per annum. So then comes it tenure. The tenure for this PPF is 15 years. So after 15 years only the total amount gets measured. So only after 15 years you can use the complete deposit that you have made. So the annual deposit ranges varies from 500 to 1,50,000 rupees. So the minimum amount that you need to invest is 500 rupees. The maximum amount that you can invest is 1,50,000 per year. And deposit frequency. The deposit frequency would be every year. So every year you need to invest or deposit some amount. And the loan facility. Since the lock-in period is 15 years, you can get the loan from 3rd year to 6th year based on the total amount that you have deposited. And from the 7th year, you can actually withdraw some amount, but you can't withdraw the complete amount. To withdraw the complete amount, you have to wait till 15 years. So the complete maturity will happen only after 15 years. So only after 15 years, you can withdraw the complete amount. From 7th year, you can withdraw some part of your deposit amount. And these are the tax benefits that we need to focus only on these things. So the interest after 15 years that you are getting is completely tax free. For example, if you are getting 5 lakhs interest after 15 years, means that 5 lakhs is completely tax free. And then comes the deposit amount of tax deducible under ATC. For example, if you are depositing 1,50,000 every year, and if you are getting 10 lakhs per annum from your company, then your total taxable amount reduces from 10 lakh to 8,50,000. So then that the total income tax that you need to pay also gets reduced. So these are the advantages of the PPF. And since this is backed by government, there is no risk factor involved in this. But the interest rate is less when compared to other savings schemes. So you also analyze more about the other savings schemes, and we will also talk about the NPS, ELLS in the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. At the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Thanks once. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using life insurance premium that we pay every year. So first we need to differentiate between the insurance, life insurance, and the investment. Most of the people thinking that the life insurance final output, the final outcome of the life insurance after 15 or 20 years is less when compared to other investment schemes like ELSS, equity linked savings. So first, you should understand that this life insurance is not an investment. So anyway, the investment has some risk and some risk-based benefits. But here, this life insurance. So here, the amount is fixed, and this can be used for the long-term purposes. So first, we'll consider how we can use the life insurance premium to reduce tax. So if you are applying for a 10 lakh policy, and if you need to pay 1 lakh per annum as a premium, then you can show that 1 lakh under section 80C. So under section 80C, you can show maximum of 1,50,000. If that amount exceeds max 1,50,000, then you need to pay tax for that exceeded amount. So there is some conditions, a deduction limit. If you have taken policy before March 31, 2012, then you can show maximum of 20% of policy amount if policy is issued before March 31, 2012. For example, if you have taken a policy of 1 crore before March 31, 2012, then you can claim up to, you can reduce the tax that you need to pay for maximum 20% of policy. Suppose if you have taken the policy after April 1, 2012, then the amount the eligible amount reduces from 20% to 10% of the policy amount. And then, so most of you have this doubt. If suppose the question is, most of you have in your mind is, if I take a policy of 10 lakh rupees, can I show that 1 lakh for every year? It's not the case. You can show the premium that you are going to pay for that year under section 80C. If you are taking a policy of 10 lakh rupees, if you are paying 1 lakh rupee as a premium, then you can show that 1 lakh to under section 80C. And these are the eligible criteria. Suppose if you are taking policy under under yourself or on your wife or husband or child. If suppose the policies are taken in these criteria, then it can be eligible under Section 80C. If suppose if you have taken policy for your parents or brothers or sisters, then you can't show that amount under Section 80C. So then you need to pay the tax for that amount for this condition, for this criteria. And most of you have this doubt. So the doubt is, I have 2 or more policies, so one from LIC, one from SCSS, one from ICICI, like that. Can I show that total amount under Section 80C? Yes, it's possible, but the maximum limit for Section 80C is 1,50,000. So you can you can claim the tax up to 1,50,000. Thanks for watching. At the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please subscribe. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using children tuition fee. If you are a parent and if you have children, then you can use the tuition fee that you are paying to the school or college under Section 80C. And there are some conditions that need to be satisfied for showing the amount under Section 80C. The first and foremost condition is the fees that you are going to pay for your children shouldn't be donation, book fees and transportation fees, etc. The tuition fee alone can be exempted under Section 80C. If suppose you are paying donation or books fees, transportation, it is taxable. So you need to pay tax for these fees, and then you can show the tuition fee under Section 80C maximum for 2 children, and then the college or school that your child is studying need to be in India. So, and then the course should be full-time course. Either it can be nursery course, or it can be high school course, or it can be college. But it should be a full-time course. It shouldn't be a part-time course. And then you can show the adopted child tuition fees also under Section 80C. So under Section 80C, the maximum amount that you can reduce is 1,50,000. So it is the accumulation of all the schemes like Provident Fund, EPF, ELSS, and children tuition fee, etc. and etc. So try to pick the best one and try to save the tax. Thanks for watching the video. At the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please click on there for subscribing channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. So now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using equity linked savings schemes. So the main concept of equity linked savings schemes is mutual funds. There are n number of mutual funds, but there are only few mutual funds that comes under Section 80C non-taxable amount. You need to pick one of those mutual funds for making the benefits of Section 80C. So first we will talk about the mutual funds. So what is a mutual fund? So mutual fund is there are various types of mutual fund. I will talk about the equity linked mutual funds. So if a company is running fine, and if company needs some more money, means what the company will do is they will try to approach the public so that they can raise the funds. So if a company is in need of 10 crore rupees, what they would do is they would divide the 10 crore into n number of small amount, like 100 rupees. That 100 rupees is the stock. So they divide the 10 crore into n number of stocks, and each stock value would be 100 rupees. So the public now have the ability to buy one stock or 10,000 stocks, like that. So you can directly invest in stocks. So I have some separate playlist for that. So please watch those videos for enhancing your knowledge. And since we are at the initial stages, you can also opt for mutual fund. Mutual fund means there is someone who is managing these things, because they are managing stocks for us. So try to use the mutual funds instead of investing stocks directly at the initial stages. So once you get some knowledge, you can directly invest in stocks. That's not a problem. So the minimum amount that you need to invest is near 500 rupees. You could invest any amount. The max, there is no limit for the max amount. The minimum amount is 500 rupees. So where you can invest in it, you can approach your authorized brokers. There are a number of authorized brokers. So each broker has some advantages and disadvantages. Try to pick the best broker from that. I used to invest in Zerodha broker. So if you need to create an account here for Zerodha, try to use my referral link that is present in the description box. So now we will see the advantages of the equity linked savings schemes. So if you compare the ELSS with the FD or PPF, the lock-in period is very much. Here that the lock-in period is just 3 years, but in case of FD it's 5 years. But in case of PPF it's 15 years. So this is one of the main advantages. And then comes in any potential risk. Since we are indirectly investing in the companies, if a company is doing very well, then our mutual fund value would also increase. So this is another advantage, and you can also offer dividend. So we'll talk about dividend in brief manner. So if a company is doing well and very well, and if suppose a company is earning a huge profit, what the company would do is they will try to share the profit with the shareholders in terms of dividend. So they would try to split the total. They would try to divide the profit into a number of pieces. That is called the dividend. So you can also opt the dividend option so that you could receive some amount on regular basis, either quarterly wise or year wise. And then you can also offer SIP, systematic investment plan. Systematic investment plan, if you are trying to invest 1 lakh rupees in mutual funds, if suppose you don't have that much money, so you can invest on regular basis, either daily basis or monthly basis or weekly basis, that doesn't matter. And then comes the disadvantages. So first and foremost, disadvantage, and this is the only disadvantage actually, the risk factor is very high. For example, if a company is doing very well, means we would be appreciated that way. If a company is not doing well, then our mutual fund value is also decrease. It can be in negative side, it can be in positive side. So it completely depends on the company that we invest. So this is the only disadvantage of that. So if you are trying to invest using Zerodha account, and try to use my referral link that will be present in the description box. Thanks for watching. At the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. So now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using fixed deposit. So generally the fixed deposit is a way of blocking an amount so that it can be matured with extra amount in the further days. So fixed deposit, if you need to save tax, you need to lock in that fixed deposit for 5 years. So 5 years lock in fixed deposit is only eligible for saving taxes that comes under section 80C. So here there are no risks. Actually, there are no risks when compared to ELSS. The ELSS risks are very high, but here there are no risks and returns are guaranteed. Actually banks will give a document stating the total amount that you would get after 5 years. And then the interest rate is not very high and not very less. It's around 8%. It varies every year depends on how RBI announces the interest rate. And then the minimum, it's not required to deposit 10,000, 20,000. Even if you have 100 rupees, you can deposit in the tax saving fixed deposit. And then comes to, you can deposit this, you can apply the fixed deposit in any of the authorized bank. You can either approach offline, or you can apply it directly using net banking. And then comes the limitation. So the first and foremost limitation is no premature withdrawals. The amount that you deposit would be freeze for 5 years. You can't use that amount for 5 years. Only after 5 years that amount gets mature. At that time only you can use that amount. Even if you have some urgent need, but you can't use that amount. And then comes in no loan or overdraft against the tax saving FDs. Generally, you can get a loan, you can have a loan or overdraft against your FDs, but you can't get a loan or overdraft against tax saving FDs. So these are the two limitations. So at the end of this video, you would see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. So now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using home loan principal now. If you are buying any home, so if you are taking home loan for that, then you can show the principal amount under Section 80C for reducing the income tax. So the first and foremost condition is under Section 80C you can reduce maximum up to 1,50,000. Suppose if you are invested in other savings schemes under Section 80C, it's an inclusive amount. So it's aggregated amount. So it's an inclusive of all the savings schemes that are present under Section 80C. So first thing is, if you are constructing a home for 2 years, for the 2 years you can't show this principal amount under Section 80C. So you need to complete the home and you need to get the completion certificate. Then only you can show the principal amount under Section 80C. And the second thing is, the amount that you pay for the stamp duty and registration fee for your home can be shown under Section 80C. And then comes there is a condition that if you are trying to sell your home to some other person within 5 years from the construction time, then you need to pay the complete amount that you try to avoid the tax. For example, see. This is the example. If X person is paying EMI for rupees 42,000 per month, so at the initial stages the interest would be very high. So 30,000 and the principal would be very low, 12,000. When it comes to later stages, the interest would be very low, but the principal would be very high. So in this case, 12,000 rupees, 12,000 into 12, 1,44,000 per year, 1,44,000 for that year. So this X person is trying to show this 1,44,000 under Section 80C and he is trying to avoid the income tax for this 1,44,000. So if this person trying to sell this home in the next year, then he need to pay the tax for this amount also in that taxable year. The reason for this is, if suppose a person is trying to sell his home within 5 years from the constructed time, then the amount that he showed under Section 80C for the previous years need to be taxable. That's the main reason. So if you are trying to sell the home after 5 years, then that is not the case. So thanks for watching. At the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see how we can reduce the income tax using Suganya Samriddhi account. So this Suganya Samriddhi account was started by central government exclusively for girls. So the central government decided to give some preference to the girls so that they can benefit in the future. So this is used the amount that comes from this Suganya Samriddhi account can be used for girls in marriage or for girls in higher education. So there are some benefits if you use this Suganya Samriddhi account. These are the 3 benefits. So the final amount that we get from this Suganya Samriddhi is completely non-taxable. And then the interest secured from that account is also non-taxable. And this investment that you do within a fiscal year is non-taxable. That comes under Section 80C. So maximum of 1,50,000 is non-taxable. So the interest rate is very good when compared to other schemes like FD, fixed deposit. So here the interest rate is 8.6%. So I would start. The reason behind this, every year or every quarter the central government decides this interest rate. And then the minimum amount that you can deposit or invest in this account is 1,000 rupees. The maximum amount is 1,50,000 rupees. So who can avail this tax exemption? The parents, either father or mother, can benefit this tax, and also any legal guardians. So now you would have some doubts how to open this Suganya Samriddhi account. The first and the best option would be approaching the authorized banks, or you can approach the post offices. So this is the best scheme for the parents who have girl child. So try to open an account in Sugana Samriddhi and try to get benefits from that account. Thanks for watching. At the end of this video, you would see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using National Pension Scheme. So National Pension Scheme is not a investment process, it's just a retirement benefit. So if you are saving, if you are depositing some small amounts at this stage, then you can get some lump sum amount after retirement. So that's the main aim of this National Pension Scheme. So this was organized by the Government of India. So these are the National Pension Scheme is divided into 3 sections: Section 80CCD1, Section 80CCD2, Section 80CCD1B. So under Section 80CCD1, the employee contribution up to 10% of basic salary plus dearness allowance. If you are paying more than 10% means, we can reduce some amount by using the Section 80CCD1. We will talk more about that in the later part of this video. For now, consider that if you are depositing more than 10% of your basic salary and dearness allowance, then the extra amount is taxable. So if you are self-employed, then you can also claim the exemption for under this section. So under Section 80CCD2. So this section falls in the 80C category. So 80C plus 80CCD1. So maximum total aggregate value is 1,50,000. Up to 1,50,000 rupees you can claim the tax. So under Section 80CCD2 is a special section. Here the employer's contribution. So basically government company employers contribute to the employees. So up to 10% of basic salary plus DA is not taxable. So this is not part of the Section 80. So this is a separate section. Here self-employees cannot claim this, cannot use this section. So this is another important section, Section 80CCD1B. So here, recently in 2015, government announced an additional exemption up to rupees 50,000 is allowed under this section. Then we will consider use case here. If you are an employee and if you are invested in various schemes under 80C like FD, ELSS, PPF and some more thing. So the aggregate value of those saving schemes is 1 lakh rupees per year, and you are investing 1 lakh in NPS. Then if you put this 1 lakh here in this section, the maximum limit is 50,000. So the remaining 50,000 is taxable. So what we can do is we can split this 1 lakh into 2 sections, Section 80CCD1 and under Section 80C. So under Section 80C you can claim up to 1,50,000. So 1 lakh from this part and 50,000 from this part. So overall 1,50,000, here 50,000. So you can save tax for 2 lakh rupees. So the main limitation for NPS is the lump sum amount after retirement is taxable. So that's the main limitation. So thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to discuss about the Section 80D. So if you are paying medical policy premium every year or every month, you can reduce the income tax that under Section 80D by following some certain conditions. So suppose if you are paying a medical policy premium for yourself or for your spouse or for your children or for your parents are eligible under Section 80D. So the maximum eligible amount is 60,000 rupees. So there are 3 cases involved here. So health insurance premium paid for you or for your family, and the health insurance premium paid for your parents, and then preventive health checkups. So maximum amount for preventive health checkups is 5,000 rupees. That is inclusive in this maximum amount. So we will discuss about this in these 3 cases based on age. If you and your family is less than 60 years means, then the maximum eligible amount is 25,000 rupees. And if your parents age also is less than 60 years means, then the maximum eligible amount is 25. So 25, 50,000 rupees. If you and your family age is less than 60 years means, then maximum eligible amount 25,000 rupees. If suppose your parents age is above 60 years means, then maximum eligible amount is 30,000 rupees. So the aggregate amount is 55,000 rupees. If suppose if you and your parents age is above 60 years means, the maximum eligible amount is 30,000, total eligible amount is 60,000 rupees. So that's why I told that the maximum eligible amount would be 60,000 rupees here. So thanks for watching this video. At the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using education loan interest that we pay every month. So first, this is applicable only for individuals. If suppose if you have taken loan, education, ISLS education loan for yourself or for your spouse or for your children, then this under section 80E, the tax exemption is applicable. So you should have taken loan from the authorized banks only. And then it doesn't matter whether ISLS are taken in India or outside India. So you can study in India or outside that, it doesn't matter. And then comes the total interest. If suppose if you have taken 5 lakh rupees loan and the total interest that you need to pay every year is 50,000, then 50,000 rupees is tax exempted under section 80E. There is no maximum. If suppose if you are trying to pay 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees as interest for ISLS education loan, then it is completely tax exemptable under section 80E. And then comes the period of deduction. If suppose the date that the maximum 8 years. So if suppose if you are trying to pay after 8 years means, then that is taxable. So you need to repay the loan within 8 years to use this section 80E effectively. If you are trying to extend that after 8 years means, then you need to pay the interest for the, you need to pay tax for the interest that you need to pay after 8th year. And then comes the loan amount. So it can be, it is a aggregated value of tuition fee, hostel fee, transport fee plus other charges. So this is all about the education, ISLS education loan under section 80E. So thanks for watching this video. At the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using interest on home loan for first time buyer under section 80E. Actually, I have taken a video regarding interest on home loan using section 24. Under that section 24, you could exempt the tax maximum up to 2 lakh rupees. So suppose if you haven't watched that video, please go and watch that video and come to this video. So here there is additional amount of 50,000 on home interest. So this section 80E, additionally you can save up to 50,000 rupees by preventing tax paying. Under section 24, the maximum limit is 2 lakh rupees. So there are some conditions here to use this section 80E effectively. The value of property should be less than 50 lakh rupees, and then at the same time the loan that you have taken should be less than 35 lakh rupees. So now we would have a doubt how long this section 80E would be applicable. So from the start date of the time when you started to pay the home loan till you complete the home loan. So this is a life cycle of the section 80E. So at the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. So now we are going to see how we can reduce the tax that we get from the savings account interest. So this is applicable for individual and HUF. HUF means Hindu Undivided Family. This is not applicable for a body of individuals and etc. And if suppose if you have open a savings account in bank or post office or in cooperative society, then you can use this section 80TTA. Here, section is not used for FD interest. The FD interest for the amount that you get from the fixed deposit interest, that the tax you need to pay for that fixed deposit interest. Here maximum up to 10,000 rupees you need not to pay the tax. So if you are having 3 bank accounts, SCSS, ICICI and IOB, if you are getting 20,000 interest from these banks, then you can exempt the tax up to 10,000 pay. The remaining 10,000 for the remaining 10,000 amount you need to pay tax. So this is not part of the Section 80C. Section 80C, the maximum tax exemption is 1,50,000. This Section 80TTA is separate from the Section 80C. So under Section 80TTA, the maximum amount is 10,000 rupees. So thanks for watching this video. At the end of this video, you will see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. Now we are going to discuss how we can reduce the income tax using Section 80U. So Section 80U is mainly for the people who have some disability. So this certificate would be given by the Medical Authority of India. So the person with some disability. The person with disability is divided into 2 categories: a person with disability, a person with severe disability. So this category is based on the percentage of disability. So if a person has at least 40% of disability, then that person is treated as person with disability. Then he can then maximum exemption is 75,000 rupees. If a person is at least 80% of disability, then he would be treated as a person with severe disability. Then the maximum tax exemption is 1,25,000 rupees under Section 80U. So thanks for watching this video. At the end of this video, you see the channel icon here. Please click on that for subscribing the channel. Hi friends, this is Rakesh from Let's Make Learning Simple channel. So now we are going to see how we can reduce income tax using Section 80DDB. So under Section 80DB, there are some certain specified diseases. If your family members have some that specific diseases, if suppose the amount that you need for the treatment for treating the disease would be non-taxable, but there are some certain conditions applicable. So this is not applicable for the NRS, but it is applicable for individual and HEF. So there are the diseases that are present under Rule 11DD are eligible for the treatment for the diseases that are specified under Rule 11DD are eligible under Section 80DDB. So we will see the age-based eligible amount. Suppose if they are up to 60 years, the eligible amount would be 40,000 rupees. If suppose the senior citizen means from 60 to 80 years means the eligible amount is 60,000 rupees. For super senior citizen, from above 80 years means 80,000 rupees. If you have any medical policy, if suppose the medical policy has given some amount for the treatment, means that amount would be reduced from this eligible amount. So thanks for watching this video. At the end of this video, which you see the channel icon here, please click on that for subscribing the channel.